vindication.
Was our mayor then. The mayor of Boston, excuse me.
Tommy. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Fun Show here at Big TV. You will see that Susan Harrington is back in her chair, saluting you. Michael is tickling the Kara keyboard over there, seeing if he can find a tune in there somewhere or other, and practicing his very best giggle, which I haven't heard in quite a while. And I'm Arch O'Reilly, so that's it.
Oh,
Michael Selwyn?
that's who you are. I've been
I
wondering.
keep telling you. I keep telling you.
Well, I have dementia.
Otherwise known as Henry Knox. Anyway, so here we are. This is the April 30th. There has to be some significance to April 30th. I don't know why I'm asking you this, but why did people get all hooked up about April 20th?
It's Hitler's birthday. And the Columbine thing happened. So it depends.
But it's all somehow wrapped up with marijuana.
Oh, that I don't know.
420? I have no idea what it is. It
just
just shows how old I am.
You are old.
I am old.
Yes, you are old.
I'm out of the loop. But
Well, I must be too, because all I know is three things. It's Hitler's birthday. It's my brother-in-law's birthday. My brother-in-law's father was a POW, and he was one of those Wereth boys.
yeah,
And it's also the date of the Columbine incident.
should we have it removed from the calendar or something like
No, because
that?
then that moves my brother-in-law, and he's a good guy.
Oh, okay. So we'll keep it for your brother-in-law. So there's a comedian who I had never heard of, comedian who I'd
That
never
woman
heard
who
of,
was at the.
Michelle Wolf.
Who is she?
She's a comedian, and she was the host of the White House Correspondents' Dinner this year.
Yeah.
That once more, the current occupant in his gutless wonderhood refused to show up. He thought he was so clever because he went to give a speech in Washington, Wisconsin, or Michigan, or something like that.
But he spoke a long time there.
Just to get as far away as possible from there. Well, apparently this Michelle Wolf had some choice things to say about Sarah Huckabee. I'm sorry, that was unintentional.
That was
a slip, a Freudian slip. Thank you, Dr. Freud.
Thanks.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I wasn't getting your slip on that one.
And a lot of people got sort of bent out of shape, but they seem to have lost sight of the fact that they're in very poor position to get upset when they think that somebody is mean to somebody, because they work for the Prince of Mean.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I've never heard any of them complain when he called people all kinds of terrible names in print and everything. And besides, anybody who chooses to work for Donald Trump deserves whatever they get. Whatever they get.
Well, he ain't getting much, I'll tell you that. Okay, I would say that about Henry Kissinger.
Rumor is that his latest plan is that he doesn't like having General Kelly putting some discipline and control in the White House and trying to see that at least a few people obey the law now and again in the White House, like Jared Kushner and et cetera. And his clever plan now is, since his hand-picked choice to head the VA, you got to realize the VA is the second largest agency in the federal government. And he was going to put Admiral Doctor, he always refers to him, Admiral Doctor, a wonderful man. Well, that didn't fly. He's really been out of shape about that. But apparently,
so is Jackson.
Apparently, his secret plan now is to make Kelly head of the VA.
You mean the Bostonian, John Kelly?
Is he a General Kelly? Is he a Bostonian?
He's a Bostonian. I read.
We've suppressed that information out of shame and disgust.
But he's very heroic. Okay.
Was he? What was he heroic at?
Well, he got the job, didn't he? that took some.
That's not heroic.
Why,
That's stupid. But he could have been heroic at
well,
some
that's
point
what
in
I
the
meant.
past.
You know,
Iraq, Afghanistan, maybe something there.
generals. Yeah.
But in any case, it is also simultaneously reported or leaked or speculated that in the presence of a number of White House staff people, he has called the current occupant idiot.
Yes, he has.
So that might be a good exit line for him,
So, yeah.
Sorry, I don't really need to work for you. You're an idiot.
When you talk about these things, I feel like cutting my toenails or something.
Can you still reach your toenails, Mike?
No, I can't. That's what I'm saying.
Well, on a lighter note, the UK has a new baby,
Oh, that's right.
which pushed Prince Harry down, so he's now 6th in line.
What?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Pushes him down.
What's the kid's name?
Louis Charles.
Louis. Yeah, Louis.
So it's Charles, and then it's William, and then it's George, and then it's Charlotte, and then it's Louis, and then Harry. Harry's probably fairly
He's probably happy
okay
about
with that.
it. Yeah.
That's fine. Now, but is it Louis or is it Louis?
Well, it's Louis. I read.
I know that, but I haven't heard it pronounced.
Yeah,
Have
me
you
either.
heard
I
it
haven't
pronounced?
heard it pronounced either.
Somehow, when you think of king, you think of Louis,
Yeah.
right? Louis the 14th.
Yeah,
of course,
that's what
they're
I was
all
thinking.
French
Yeah.
kings. Has there ever been a King Louis in British history that you can think of? I don't think Shakespeare ever wrote a play
I think there
about
was
King Louis.
But I think-
a German relative, I think.
Yeah.
Well, they're all German.
There
you
was
know
a
that.
German.
What was Lord
relative.
Mountbatten's name?
was.
Because I think that's where they got it from.
I know
They
what,
got
what
something
this
from
is.
Mountbatten.
That's entirely true. One of his names was Louis.
Yeah.
I don't remember it was his first.
It has something to do with Mountbatten.
See, there it is.
I think-
and Mountbatten was the German.
I think it was George Louis something Mountbatten, who was killed by Irish nationalists.
He blown up in that boat with everybody. They
Yep.
were having a picnic. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't a bad guy.
No, my fellow was
If
a
there's
white.
any IRA members out there who disagree with me, please just drop me a note.
They'll drop you.
Because wasn't he like kind of mentor to
Yeah, not a package, just
Yeah,
an
just
envelope.
Okay.
better yet email it. Better yet email it because people have an envelope.
email. Nobody's managed
Yeah.
to put an
anthrax in it,
explosive
yeah.
in email so far.
Do you think we could get that guy Wynn to come on this show? You think he might?
Steve Wynn?
Yeah.
He's back
You
in,
want Steve
he's back
Wynn
in
to be your
Nevada,
guest?
isn't he?
You've been asking where our casinos are for so long.
Well-
so now you got a lot of casino news. You want to update the people on casino news?
Well, and the MGM is supposed to open up soon, in the next fall or something.
Well,
If they still have that name on that casino.
well, Wynn Properties, who now claims that they're about to top off the casino in Everett, they've formally changed the name now to Encore
Encore.
Casino.
Encore?
Encore.
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 Like
E-N-C-O-R-E.
Encore isn't bad.
Encore Casino
Apple
of
Core
Boston.
would be better, yeah.
What?
Apple Core, he said.
Apple Core. Make for an interesting logo, you know.
Yeah.
But, so that's their first thing. But apparently there's some effort on their part to sell it off to MGM, which is interesting that they're even thinking about that, considering that the law in Massachusetts specifically states that nobody can own more than one casino.
Everybody knows that now, you know. It was in all the papers.
But given how corrupt and incompetent our gaming commission is, dear Mr. Crosby and his faithful followers, who knows? They may just decide to overturn the law.
You think they're getting free marijuana for those meetings that they have?
The
Is that-
gaming commission, or
Yeah.
or the
gaming
or
commission.
the marijuana commission.
The gaming commission. They got to smoke
I don't
something
know.
you got all these casinos. That's a big seller.
But I guess I won't be attending their meetings if they are.
Well, okay, if that's how you feel about it.
That's not how I feel about it. I'm allergic to it.
Well,
We got a change of.
I'll spray some that garlic that you like so much.
That'll do me too. You say what?
We got to change a street name over there at.
Oh, Yawkey Way, yes,
Yeah,
Yawkey
it's no
Way's-
longer Yawkey Way.
Yawkey Way is
As I
going to
heard.
go back to being Jersey Street, except for the rather short part of it, which is Ortiz Way.
Yeah.
They named after David Ortiz. Well, it was Jersey Street when I used to work over there, and
Sausage Street.
big deal. They wanted to change the name of the street. You know, big deal, right? I mean, they named. I can't even remember what it was before, but they named a street Martin Luther King Boulevard. They named a street Melania. How do you pronounce her name?
Oh.
Cass.
Melanie.
Oh, Melnia Cass.
Melnia.
Yeah,
Thank
Melnia
you.
Cass.
Melnia Cass Boulevard. What did it used to be? Do you remember?
I think when they built it, they first named. I mean, because it wasn't
Melnia-
always. It wasn't
Melnia-
there a long, long time.
Melania Cass.
You think it was built as Melnia Cass?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, well, but I mean, you know, we name streets all the time, right?
Yeah.
Boylston Street in Cambridge became John F. Kennedy, you know,
Oh, did. Oh, okay.
you know, that runs down by the Kennedy School. When I was in school,
Okay.
that was Boylston Street, you know.
Oh, okay.
But, so what's the big deal? Why do people get bent out of shape about it?
Another way to get lost with the GPS.
Well, Amherst gets 70 acres of land over there in Martha Vineyard. What is it? What's the name of that college?
Mount Ida?
Mount Ida.
That's not in Martha's Vineyard.
I know that's
Yeah.
a,
Well, I was. They're going to have a casino out there, anyways, aren't they? Aren't they?
not Newton.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
They're gonna have a-
I'm
they're-
sorry. My head is spinning.
I know.
Mount Ida College is in Newton, Massachusetts.
That's that. But they have
Ju-
70
just
acres.
just across the border
Yeah.
from here, and without any consultation at all, apparently, with their student body,
Yeah.
they decided to close their school.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they'd admitted a class for next fall.
They have.
For
I
next
believe
fall?
they have. Yeah.
I
I
believe
know they
so.
admitted one last fall when they surely knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And their big mea culpa, everything's okay, is to say you can transfer to UMass. Well, if these kids wanted to go to UMass, they'd have gone to UMass in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
mean-
they don't have funeral.
Frankly, I would say UMass is
Director's
probably a
course.
better school than
Well,
Mount
They
Ida.
don't have UMass doesn't have
No, and Mount Ida was famous for that.
a funeral director's
They
course.
had
For-
death studies.
Yeah.
Funereal program.
That-
Funereal studies.
Yes.
This is what that woman up in Alaska would have liked. What was her name?
Palin?
Yeah.
She would have liked funereal programs.
Yeah, she said that there were a lot of bad things in Obama's health care. Remember? The death panels.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
remember?
So they're training people to serve on death panels.
Yeah, well, there you are.
No wonder they're closing.
Well, there were two top programs.
Don't worry, Susan. I'm just as confused as
Yeah,
you
no.
are.
There was a Mount Ida one, and then there was one I want to say in San Francisco, because I know someone who used to teach at both. She taught at the California one, and she came
Oh, well,
here.
there must be more, but I must say I've never really looked into it
Yeah.
much, you know. But
Well,
I mean, after all, we need undertakers, right?
that's
I
true.
mean, you got to bury people. You can't
Yeah.
just leave them lying
And
around
stack
on
'em up.
top, right?
Can't
We
stand
have had some
They
funeral people.
smell after a while,
Yeah.
you know.
But they have people that have left the bodies around in the backyard and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's considered rude.
Yeah.
I would say it.
You know, at least chip out your basement floor and bury them under there. You know, let's be polite to your
Yeah.
neighbors, right?
like Kim Jong Un. He's polite to his relatives, isn't he?
Kim Jong Un.
Kim Jong Un.
Kim Jong Un. That was their little greeting between the North and the South was very interesting.
Yeah.
First, he stepped over the line into the South, and then the South Korean president said, "Well, when do I get to take to the North?" He said, "Oh, come on over," and they stepped over on the other side and shook hands again, and back and forth, and they said all these nice things and stuff. The only problem is, they've not only said that many times before, they've agreed to the denuclearization because disarmament is not an acceptable term.
Oh.
So they use this denuclearization of and I may pronounce that like W, but of the peninsula. But they've agreed to that in writing twice before, and didn't even tap the brakes on their programs. So I'm really worried that when the current occupant goes and meets with him, he's just going to give the store away. And apparently South Korea is scared to death that he's going to give the store away.
I kind of agree with that, Susan.
Okay, the war's over. He's agreed to everything. Let's take our troops home, and where's my Nobel Prize?
Yeah.
You know.
That's right. Who was that guy from South Carolina, the senator from there, said he would be a candidate?
Well, the Nobel Committee is actually investigating the fraudulent nomination of Donald Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize. They're trying to get to the bottom of where that came from. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for the Big TV Unrehearsed Thespian Society's presentation for tonight, which comes out of the upper mid-range of the vault.
Okay.
You know, one of these nights we're going to surprise the heck out of you and do a new one. But this is a nice little one from the past, which is called Point of View.
He's always picking on me. Go ahead.
I'm picking on you?
Yes.
Didn't I just say it was nice?
No, you didn't say. You said one of these days we'll get something
a new
new.
one. But I said this is a nice one from the past. Didn't I say that?
Yes, you did. Okay.
Would you run back the tape, please?
I'm in the past, you know, a lot of that. Okay, go ahead.
We spend a lot of time in the past. Okay. Action. Look, Mike, you always argue with everybody.
So what?
It's a free country.
People say dumb things to me, too.
And who says you're a genius?
Well, he's not exactly stupid.
They just think that they're smart.
Last week, you were yelling about the Green Revolution.
Hybrids are too expensive.
You want better gas mileage.
And a cleaner environment?
So I got to pay the price?
Mm-hmm.
You will get a small break on next year's taxes.
Some inducement.
Solar panels on your roof are a really good deal.
It's the trickle-down theory, right?
Now what?
What? Forward. Never mind what.
He has to spend big bucks to get a big return.
Guys are still buying big, cheaper SUVs, which I'd like to have.
Sure. OPEC says buy now, pay later.
It's going to cost you in the long run.
Yeah, probably in 10 years, and those guys taking all those trips.
True. Cruises to the islands.
Flying to places I've never been, like India and China.
Yeah, and choking on the CO2 every day.
But they don't care.
Anyway, you're too sensitive.
You take everything personally, Mike.
So I'm envious, so you might as well
But
know.
not broke.
And you read too much.
Soon the papers will be gone.
You're full of information.
Ooh, stop quoting TV news anchors.
All that endless repetition.
It's just like brainwashing.
So they're programming me now?
Yes. You get mad and explode.
Yeah, you should try shutting up and listening.
Why?
For another point of view.
We're not automated message services.
Different folks, different strokes.
Oh, come on, give us a break.
I'm a little opinionated, I guess.
It's called information overload, my friend.
But it's valuable.
He doesn't really get it, you know.
Maybe he needs to be recycled.
You're tossing me on the trash heap?
It's that or Afghanistan.
I could pick poppies
Or you could make a killing in sand.
to make cement for rebuilding.
Al-Qaeda terrorists live in the mountains.
And we bomb training camps in Pakistan, too.
But rebuilding the mountains? Nah.
I think he's loony.
You were for the surge?
Me and Petraeus.
That was then.
Now, President Obama says we're out of Iraq, and it's the summer of 2010.
And then we leave for Afghanistan?
You know, I feel so bad for all those GIs.
Have they cleaned up Walter Reed?
I thought they closed it. The rats, the roaches, the peeling paint.
Move to another building, I think.
Wolf Blitzer didn't say that on CNN.
Are you still having stomach cramps at night?
No, I spilled hot coffee on myself.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thanks much.
See Dr. Cronkite.
He'll prescribe a weekend in Chelsea.
With meals,
You can see the sunset from under the Mystic River Bridge.
with lights on.
Yeah, that's the wrong bridge.
I sort of like Rush Limbaugh.
Yeah, and you liked Attorney General Gonzalez.
A nice smile.
Wrote good stuff on torture, I believe.
Oh, yeah, a regular humanitarian.
Is waterboarding stressful?
Well, it's better than recycling, right?
Speaker Pelosi was meeting with the CIA.
She was very busy that week, says Mo Dowd.
Yeah, well, who isn't?
I'm confused.
Well, the CIA took notes.
Bunch of non sequiturs.
I'm not one.
I told you he was weak upstairs.
Just because he has a master's.
Actually, it was a PhD.
And he contributed to a PAC, too.
And where is all this leading?
He's got a big cat.
Ooh, I know that. Strangely, he also feeds wild birds.
Does the cat help?
One mouthful after another.
Swell, but is summer ever coming?
My plants aren't doing well outside.
I see. You try to stay in touch.
They say it's the cool nights.
President Ahmadinejad of Iran could respond properly.
It's easy for you to say. I'm cold, too.
Well, turn off the AC.
Nobody likes to sweat.
Even Chairman Steele of the Republican National Committee.
Not much fun for Governor Romney in that pizza parlor.
That's a trifle common.
Too much garlic.
Now I've heard everything.
What about the millions out of work?
And what do you expect me to do?
Pay your taxes.
Higher ones, undoubtedly.
We've got the best state legislators in America.
And they deserve the best pension system.
Is that something like the president's stimulus package?
In our state, they're busy trying to balance the budget.
It's an enormously difficult project.
That's just because they're so occupied thinking.
Organizing more study committees can be exhausting.
But humbling.
However complex and laborious, they must act.
And they do.
The process is called the state theater.
60 grand a year for decision making.
Cheaper and quicker in New Hampshire.
Does Romney still live there?
Maybe he'll move to Alaska.
I'd hedge on that one.
How's Governor Palin's family?
Well, they're either practicing abstinence or absenteeism.
Beats me.
Didn't you just bid for no Trump?
Stud poker's my game, partner.
And a small brandy won't help a teetotaler.
Ever watch a hot dog eating contest?
No, and I certainly hope I never shall.
Well, you got that right, Hoss.
Hamburgers are got more style.
Do you realize that the viewers are all changing stations now?
It's the cold weather, pilgrims.
I'll be putting on my gloves and a scarf.
Say something I can relate to.
How's your uncle?
Cold and sick, sonny.
You're a fraud.
But he appeared fine when I last viewed his mortal remains.
That's old Zeb, 95 and still jogging.
Ticking like a Celotex watch in a coffee cup.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, but I get a kick out of you.
This is pathetic.
Must be punch drunk.
I haven't touched a drop.
Words, it's only words.
Last time I looked, he was still male.
So, what's your final conclusion?
Wisest thing he's ever written.
But hyperbole.
Say, excuse me?
Oh, go bite a tree.
And prolong its agony?
Blackout.
Blackout. Okay.
That one was called Point of View.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of views you can think of there. Okay.
And very few points.
Okay.
Bada bong.
Bada bang.
Bada boom, bada bong.
Not bad.
I was kind of surprised to read here in this magazine that this newspaper here
Yeah.
says NAFTA rewrite nears completion, but will Congress approve the deal? And I, honest to God, was not aware we were actually trying to negotiate a new NAFTA agreement, but
Well, we are, but it takes
but it's
time.
very interesting
If there's
because
nobody in the State Department.
well, yeah, nobody at all in the State
Yeah.
Department. On the other hand, this is probably being done by the Commerce Department anyway, but
Okay.
Republicans have urged the president to drop many of his signature proposals. The Republicans don't like it, the Democrats don't like it. What a deal maker we got there, right?
We got to build a wall. We have to do something about that wall.
Gotta build that wall.
I see in the papers all those people sitting on that wall. They were walking all through Mexico to get there on that fence.
But they've already had the wall. That wall's as high as the wall he wants to build. In San Diego, you know, and he's
they
all
do.
bent out of
we
shape
got- we
because
do
his
have some
caravan of
walls.
people.
We got some fences there.
And our side of the wall has hundreds of lawyers waiting to help them.
Yeah.
So that's
I don't
good.
hear anything else about the National Guard anymore. Do you, Susan?
Oh, yeah. Well,
What are they doing?
had a little bit of a problem because
They like tacos.
he talked about thousands of National Guardsmen. I think the red states sent a couple of hundred, and California sent them somewhere else.
Anywhere
Called
else.
up their National Guard and sent them somewhere else.
Governor Brown. He
To do
knows what
something else.
do. Yeah,
I'd like to remind people that a week from tomorrow
that's good.
is a
reminder.
very important town election.
Yeah.
And last year, if you went to the polls, you discovered that there were no races to vote in, virtually no contests at all. This year, there's quite a few races. There's a couple of races that have more than twice as many candidates as there are offices to be elected, and interesting candidates. We really, I encourage you. You'll see signs all over town for a group of 3 school committee people who are running. I encourage you to vote for the new people. There are 100 reasons to vote for them. They don't represent corporate education. They're not selling out the teachers and the children of Brookline the way the current school committee is.
And all the college kids.
But most importantly, we want to get rid of the people who imposed on the town of Brookline the ugliest school building in North America.
It ain't pretty. No.
What is that?
The new Devotion School is the ugliest school building in North America. It's perhaps the ugliest building in North America, but I'm not sure. But I wanted to find another building to say it makes this building look like a piece of art, and I couldn't think of a building to compare it to.
Well, it's down
Because
there
every
in-
ugly building I thought of
there's
is so much better than this.
There's a building in the Antarctica that looks pretty good. It might make that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a nice roof made with all kinds of tar and holes in it and stuff. Yeah.
How soon will it be
Well,
completed?
my claim was North America.
Voc Ed
it's
grabs
finished.
Voc Ed, vocational education grads are being hired as soon as they finish school.
Well, I've always
So you don't have to go to college to make a good living. if
I've
you don't
always
want to.
believed in a internship program. You know?
Yes, the Germans are big on that.
Yes, yes.
We have it too in this country.
Well, very little, but
well, the unions control it for the most part.
yeah. Although unions are essentially going out of business at,
True. Okay.
at the present time, but it would. So, a week from Tuesday, go to the polls and vote. It gives you a week to look into these issues and give them some concern. And so, hit it, Michael. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. We'll see you in our dreams. Good night, Irene. Good night, everybody, from the Fun Show here at Big TV. The good Lord willing and the creek don't rise. We'll be back next week. Same panel, same time, and we look forward to seeing you then.
And at the Mystic River Bridge there, we got a.
What?
Well, the Mystic River Bridge, I thought we were